We'd like to welcome Charlie Cullen, the Provident Bank President and CEO, to the Morning Watch program. I'm Wynn Damon. And for a while now, Charlie, we've been talking about the Local Legends Award, and we have our first recipient that we would like to bring forth today. Tell us a little bit about the award first before we tell people who's winning it.
Well, Wynn, I think it was a great idea. It was a collaboration between the radio station and the bank to honor extraordinary citizens who have done extraordinary things in this city, also Amesbury in the future, and southern New Hampshire. But we thought it was appropriate to start with somebody in Newburyport, and we'll announce that individual in a second. But the award is all about unsung heroes, people who do things in a very selfless way to improve the quality of life in the city.
And there are so many people around that would qualify for an award like this as well, too. And over the course of the year, we'll be making an announcement every month. And at the end of the year, we'll have a luncheon or something like that.
Well, we haven't figured that out yet. And maybe the first recipient today can help us figure that out, because this person will forever be known as sort of the George Washington of the local legends. But truly, when we're very excited about this, there are a lot of awards that are given out to people who do great things, but sometimes there is a group of individuals who aren't necessarily in high-powered places, which is part of what they have to do with their job. And even though this individual has had opportunities to make a difference through the work he does, he is really taking it to another level, and I think that we can talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that now, if we could. If we would like to make the announcement, we would do it right at this moment. And getting the very first Local Legends Award from the Provident Bank and WNBP is
Jordy Vining. So is this when everybody starts giving the applause?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Jordy. Now, Jordy is the senior project manager over at Newburyport City Hall. And Jordy, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, it's nice to have you here, too. And you are the second member of your family to appear on WNBP Radio, aren't you?
That's right. The last time I was in your studios was about 5 years ago. And my son, Jesse, who's now 12, almost 13. He was a 7-year-old boy, and he went through a whole fundraising initiative to raise money for the elk sculpture that's now permanently down on the waterfront. And it was pretty amazing to have a 7-year-old kiddo going into the local banks and the Rotary Club and local foundations and others, and that was a lot of fun.
And I think we were talking before we got on the air here, when that example, I think, personifies Jordy and his family and going the extra step for this community. And I know we want to talk about some of the other reasons we thought Jordy was the perfect first recipient, but I think that story is terrific.
Well, it's nice, and I do remember when you brought that up. I did remind myself about what happened down there and all of the sculptures that have been there since then.
Right.
Does he get a neat feeling when he sees that?
He certainly does, and there's a little bronze plaque down there which he proudly points out. Sometimes he says he just goes down and watches to see if anyone is reading the plaque and and looking at the elk, and he proudly brings his grandparents to show them every time they come. So it's great.
Neat. We're talking with Jordy Vining, who's been named our first recipient of the Local Legends Award from the Provident Bank and WNBP. Jordy's the senior project manager for planning at Newburyport City Hall, and you've been involved with a lot of projects. I've seen the list of some of the things you've been involved with. The most recently, the highest profile one is the Clipper City Rail Trail.
That's
and
right.
That had to have taken a long time.
Yeah, I've been here now working for the city for almost 10 years, and I've been working on that project since the first day I walked in the door. And I think the first day, I was hired, and then they said, on Saturday you have a public meeting in front of 100 people about the rail trail. Get going. And these projects are incredibly complex and take a lot of effort over the years to put together, more than they should. But I think the end result is worth the wait.
And I
people
think,
have been excited
if
about
I
it.
could just say that the ceremony this summer
Yes.
was quite something. And when you saw the lineup of all the mayors that have been involved,
Right.
when Geordie was the thread throughout all those administrations to keep this going, we had everybody who's anybody in state government, as well as John Tierney, our congressman there. Tim Murray was there.
Yeah.
And every one of them just sung the praises of Geordie Vining. It was really a celebration, not only of the rail trail, but of Geordie. And I think that was the day that we realized that there was no one better to be selected, because he didn't do this for any gain personally. This was just a passion he had. He knew how important this was, and that was a terrific day. I mean, the amount of people that used the rail trail just that one day,
Yeah.
and it was a community celebration. It was terrific.
And yes, it was your job to help design all that stuff and put it all together, but you also put your heart and soul into it too.
Yeah. I mean, I did feel strongly that I wanted to make that new public space a unique one, and something that is unique to Newburyport and to our area. And I visited a lot of other rail trails, in the region, in the area, and they're all, just about all of them are great. Some of them don't have. Let's see, I don't want to be negative here. Some of them aren't as welcoming and attractive as they could be. And I thought long and hard about how to try to make ours above and beyond. And that is something that I do love about this city in general, and my job when working on these public spaces and trying to make them welcoming and attractive and special and unique.
We're talking with Geordie Vining, who is the Senior Project Manager for the City of Newburyport. He's the first recipient of the Local Legends Award from the Provident Bank and WNBP, talking about making things welcoming. Some of the projects you've worked on over the years has been the boardwalk, the Bartlett Mall, and the restoration of City Hall.
Yeah. I mean, Newburyport has been going through this long renaissance for the past generation, and Newburyport is a fantastic place, clearly, and at the same time, we're not quite done with the renaissance and the rejuvenation, and we've been systematically working through different areas, the public sector and the private sector together. That's been part of my work over the past decade, and clearly there's always more to do. But I have loved taking some of these old spaces, which have fallen on harder times and have gotten dilapidated, and restoring them and bringing them back to their former glory, as well as updating them to meet contemporary needs, as well as creating something brand new like the rail trail, which is a very contemporary space, but melds itself, I think, very well onto historic Newburyport.
Now, what projects are you working on now?
Well, my next project, which presumably will take me another 10 years, is extending the rail trail and extending it along the waterfront and through the south end. And I have to go back to the same kind of process and assemble the different pieces, the jigsaw puzzle, and then raise money and work with designers and do the permitting and move towards construction. And we're still in the early stages of that one, but I think people have seen how much enjoyment the community and the public at large has gotten from the first phase, and it'll be good to move towards the second.
One of the things you just mentioned was fundraising.
Yeah.
That is such an unsung part of what you do, Geordie. People don't understand not only raising the money through the public sector, through all the myriad of places you need to go and grant writing and whatnot, but you have, and I think the example with your son, Jesse, reaching out to the community for special projects. I remember talking to you several years ago about the Bartlett Bank
Yeah.
and raising money and going to the banks and other businesses in the community. Those are the things that people don't see. And that's something that was very, very memorable to me when we were thinking of Jordy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd have to say I'd prefer it if I was given a multi-million-dollar budget every year and I could just manage projects. But at least to date, the budget has been basically zero, and I've had to, as Charlie's saying, raise it all. And from both the public sector and the private sector, we've brought a number of millions of dollars into the city through all those efforts. And I would just put a plug in that the local business community has been fantastic in terms of getting the extra mile. We're talking about going above and beyond. A lot of the public grants that we can get us to a certain place, but then we're talking about public art and so forth. The support from local banks and foundations and individuals and businesses has really been what's made those kinds of enhancements possible.
All right. Well, Jordy, congratulations. You are a local legend, and now you are being recognized as one. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very, very much.
And thank
I really
you, Jordy,
appreciate
for being our first recipient. And you can host our gathering 1 year from now.
Or he can plan for it.
He can plan
That's
for it.
right.
That's
I'm
very
a
good
planner.
way.
All right. Jordy Vining, the Senior Project Manager for the City of Newburyport, the very first local legend recipient. And again, we congratulate you on that. And we've been talking with Charlie Cullen, the President and CEO of the Provident Bank. I'm Win Damon here on the Legends, AM 1450, WNBP.